weekly vlog number 46 and 47. So if you follow me on Twitter or Facebook, you may have noticed actually why I didn't record anything last week, and I'm actually going to explain that now. So I posted that my dog was missing, and then I also later posted after 14 hours that we finally found him. So what all happened? So basically last week we found out that the main water line to the house was rusted through and we needed to replace it. So when we were replacing it, my dad kept leaving the shop door open, and my dog and his dog kept just trying to sneak out the front door to look at what we were doing and try and get a little attention, but we were all busy working on replacing stuff. So then near the end, after we were finally putting in the new tubing, my dad was outside and he was looking for something. I was inside helping my brother, and he forgot to close the shop door. He kept forgetting to close the shop door throughout the entire process, and I kept having to go over, bring the dogs back in the shop and close the door. And it wouldn't be a huge problem if there was a door on the other side of the shop, but he keeps not putting a damn door there, so it's just open right to the backyard, which is fucking stupid. And when I was in the house, he did it again, but I didn't realize he left the door open this time, and I didn't realize he even went in there, actually. So when we were done, I went outside, I noticed the door was open, I was like, fuck, okay, where are the dogs? Because my mom let their dog in, but my dog wasn't in the house, so I started looking around, okay, maybe she put him in my room. So I came out here, where I'm at now, looked around everywhere, I looked in the backyard, I looked on the house, I asked if they actually let him in, he said they didn't let him in. Then I went out front, I started looking for him, and I walked around the block. I guess my dad just barely missed him, because he went one way around the block, I went the other way around the block, and just walking, calling for him. And when I got around the block, someone came out of their house with their dog, and they're like, did you lose your dog? Is that who you're calling for? I was like, yeah. Well, he was just here like 5 minutes ago. I just saw him. He just went down towards the church, which is just basically down the street a little ways. So that means, and she actually said it was about 5 minutes ago when she last saw him, and saw him taken off towards the church. So that means that my dad, because it took me about 5-10 minutes to get around the block, because I was looking around very carefully in the dark areas, because he's a black dog, and it was night out then. I think it was around 6:30 p.m., something like that. So it was already dark. And that means that by the time my dad got to that point, my dog was probably just right there. And he wasn't looking well enough. He wasn't shining his flashlight in the dark areas looking for my dog. He was just walking straight, just ignoring everything else and calling for him. And that it still fucking pisses me off that he wasn't actually looking properly. So when I got there, I said, okay. I was all looking that way, and I thanked her, started walking, and walked to the corner again, started looking around. I didn't know how far he would get. I don't know. So I looked around the block again, figured, okay, he's probably gonna go on one of the routes I've taken him before. And eventually my mom, I heard her just driving around yelling for my dog out the van window. So then I went home and she picked me up and we headed out. And we found more people said, yeah, okay, he was heading towards the church. Then someone else, a group of kids actually said, yeah, they saw him over at the church. So we looked around the church, he was nowhere to be found. And after 3 hours of searching, I went home. I had to eat. I had not eaten anything in over 24 hours at that point, because I woke up at a weird time. And whenever I wake up at a certain time of the day, I wait until dinner. And that way I'm actually hungry during dinner for what's actually being cooked at the house. And I just didn't get to eat yet because we were working on replacing the pipe to the house. Then I had to look for my dog. So I went home. I just had to eat. And my mom went out for another hour or so. And I think in the end, when we finally gave up looking, everyone was just exhausted. It was around midnight by that point, and we just had to go to bed. So I went to sleep. I did not sleep well at all. I got up the next day, and immediately all I could think was, okay, maybe he went over near one of the old middle schools. It used to be a middle school. Now I think it's a senior center or it's a library. I don't remember. Like half the school was removed because it was basically condemned, and it's just really old and it was falling apart and unsafe. So I said, okay, maybe he went over there. I don't know why I thought he may have gone over there, but decided, okay, you know what? I told him I'm going to search over there. She went over there and she found people said, yeah, you're looking the wrong way. He went that way over near, there was a restaurant here. So she came back home. She told me to get some notepads, something to write with, because she was going to hand out pieces of paper with her phone number and some information about my dog, just in case they actually see him nearby, they can call her or send her a text or something. And while we were stopped for a second so she could check stuff on Facebook, because posted in a little group on Facebook for the town, we stopped and she was doing stuff on Facebook on her phone. And as soon as we started driving again, we saw my dog walk around the side of this restaurant and he was just really slow. He was miserable, and he just seemed really, really depressed. He hates the rain. He was the runt of the litter. When I got him, he was basically always in a corner, just in the mud, outside in the rain, and he just hates water. He hates the rain. It's just torture for him. And it rained all night. So he had a very shitty night because he had to stay out in the rain. But we drove up to him, and we pulled over, and he was miserable. His tail was just basically curved under his legs. He just had this look on his face like he was lost and just sad, and just he hated everything that had gone on over the last 14 hours, because it was 14 hours by that point, since he took off 14 hours later. I didn't sleep long, like I said. it was kind of hell. So I got out really quickly, walked up to him. He started pulling away. He was scared, and he looked scared and miserable, and he just didn't know what was going on, and he just didn't recognize us for a few seconds. I called him, told him it was okay, and he started walking towards me, and I went out to pet him, and he finally started realizing who we were. But it actually took 3 days before he returned to normal after that. I was giving him treats constantly too, but throughout that entire process, he was miserable as fuck for 3 days after he got back. He was not the same. He was weak, he was slow. Like, I have never seen him walk as slow as he did before. He had no energy. Normally, he has a ton of energy. He's always hopping around. Whenever he walks, he usually just kind of hops around whenever he walks. With every footstep, it's kind of like he's hopping forward. And when I saw him, he was just dragging his feet almost. It was just so slow. It's just shuffling along. And he was like that for 3 days, and gradually getting better each day until he returned to normal. And now he's all hyper and everything again. But it sucked. It really, really sucked. And actually, that was the end of last week. So the next thing, because it's been a shitty 2 weeks. I'll have to say that right now. Last week and this week, it's been pretty shitty. So basically, the next thing that ended up happening was my niece ended up falling at school, and she broke her arm. She was playing around on some monkey bars. It's basically this creation where you can swing around, climb and everything on some metal bars. Just call them monkey bars. But she was playing around on that, and she fell, broke her arm. She had to go to the hospital, and she's been home for 2 or 3 days. I don't know when she's going back to school, or if she already did. I have no idea. I haven't really been paying too much attention, and I've been awake at night, not during the day. So I did see her, and she had her arm in a sling, so I don't know where on her arm she broke it. My dad said her shoulder, but he also said that she broke her shoulder before my mom actually confirmed that her shoulder, her arm, or anything was broken. So I don't know if my dad was just guessing, or if my mom told him first, then he told me, but whatever. So either way, she broke her arm. So that's the second bad thing. And actually everything else isn't all that bad, but those that sucked. I'm still remembering, mostly because you could get over a broken arm, and I've had a broken finger even, but she seems to be doing fine. But my dog, I keep thinking, looking at him, and I'm just remembering, wow, he was fucking miserable, and I can't really remove that image from my mind when I walked up to him and he started backing away. That was just a really bad thing to have happen. It's bad that my niece broke her arm too, but I got the thing in my head with my dog more than with my niece's broken arm. Arm will heal. Dog having that sort of experience is something that's gonna probably stay with them for quite a while. Because once your arm or your bone or whatever is healed, you're mostly gonna forget what it was like. This is also from personal experience, especially at her age too. I broke my finger when I was a bit older than her, but even then, I don't really remember much of it. It's not really a huge deal to me. And yeah, her arm's bigger than a finger, obviously, is probably more pain, but still heal, and then she'll start to just forget about it. So anyways, the next things, the case for my computer, it started buzzing. It was buzzing quite a bit. I thought I actually solved it at one point by bending the little fins that the fans on my front panel attached to. So I thought I solved that because I knew it was the case itself. And the buzzing came back, and then all of a sudden I was playing with it again because it was pissing me off. Playing with it, and it was like, okay, this fin isn't actually causing the buzzing, so what the fuck's causing the buzzing? So I looked around a little bit more, I heard it. I knew it was somewhere on the front panel, and I knew it was somewhere at the bottom of the case. Then I started looking around the hard drive cage. I touched the hard drive cage and buzzing stopped. It's like, oh, okay. Well, that's annoying. Let's see if I can actually force this to happen. So I kind of flicked the hard drive cage just a little bit, just to make it shake a little bit, and it started buzzing again. So it was just rattling, and the activity from the 3 hard drives in that cage were actually making it so it was moving around a bit more. So my solution to this, because the hard drive cage, I couldn't clamp it down or anything with any sort of tool, I had no way to hold it down. My solution to this was to put the other hard drive cage back in, because if you use the top hard drive cage, it attaches to the bottom hard drive cage, and then it attaches to the case itself a little bit better. And it kind of holds it still because it never buzzed with that top hard drive cage in. So I had to put the other hard drive cage back in. Kind of sucks. I kind of like the way the system looked without that second hard drive cage in there. But apparently the hard drive cages are really flimsy and really weak. So they start to rattle, they shake, and it just sounds like this annoying buzzing like a fly just in your ear all the damn time. It's fucking stupid. I hate it. So, whatever, but at least that's actually solved. Then before I get to the last thing, which actually happened first, I want to talk about stuff a little bit out of order here. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is actually Skyrim and ENB. So I said I wasn't going to use ENB on Skyrim, but I was like, okay, you know what, this game actually kind of looks like shit without ENB. I want to try installing ENB, see if I can get it working right, and just actually use ENB and just record the game, finish the playthrough off with ENB instead of removing it. So I installed ENB, loaded the game, it crashed. I was like, the fuck? Tried it again, it crashed. I was like, the fuck? I tried everything. I double-checked, I triple-checked, and quadruple-checked all the steps I was taking to install ENB properly. It's like, what the fuck? It's not working. It just keeps crashing the goddamn game. Then I went back, and instead of using version 2.9.2 of ENB, I downloaded version 2.6.2. The game stopped crashing. It was working fine. I was like, okay, interesting. Then I installed some more mods. I'm not using realistic lighting overhaul that made stuff way too damn dark. It looks better without that, actually, just with ENB only. So I then started looking around, playing with the effects, and I noticed there's no light shafts. What the fuck? Why is there no light shafts? So I looked at the tutorial again, because I can't remember all that shit. I've barely done that at all. This is only the second time I've ever installed ENB on anything. And it's kind of annoying. There's no easy, just drag this and drop it there, and it'll work perfectly sort of thing. You gotta pick out these specific files from all this other crap in this thing you download, and then drag it over and drop it. You need to kind of change it a little bit, so it's like, okay, just drag and drop this shit here into the other area, and it'll work. But for some reason they don't do that. But anyways, so I was looking around, and it's like, there's no light shafts. Why are there no light shafts? This is a little annoying. Then I noticed that the tutorial I was looking at, they only said to drag and drop 2 files, the ENB host and something else I don't remember. But in their own folder, they had a few other things, which are the effects, basically. So I was like, okay, you know what? Maybe they're just fucking retarded and they forgot that you actually needed this other shit. So I dragged and dropped the other stuff that they actually had in their folder on the video and was actually included in the download over to the Skyrim folder where I dragged the other stuff. Started it up, light shafts, all the effects and everything were just, it was working fine again. So that was kind of neat. It was a piece of cake to get that working, and I don't know why the fuck the tutorial was that retarded and didn't say, okay, you have to have all this. So it's possible that 2.9.2, 0.292, whatever, I'm just gonna call it 2.9.2. It's possible that 2.9.2 was actually working properly. It's just that it required the other stuff this time instead of working without it, because it needs the effects in order to run or something, I don't know. Or it's a shit version and some reason it doesn't want to work with the game. I have no idea, I didn't actually test that. Either way, I got ENB working again properly now. And so far, I haven't really noticed a huge difference in performance. I gotta play through the game a little bit more. I made a new file just to test the system with the ENB. I can always disable it if an area is too laggy. I'll probably end up doing that, I don't know. So far, I don't really see a huge performance difference in Skyrim with only 1 graphics card versus when I was using 2. But I also never ran ENB at that beginning dragon fight at the start of the game. And I'm pretty sure that area gets cleaned up a bit later, but that area is laggy and stuttery as fuck. So I'm just going to play through the game a little bit more on my new file. I still have the file for the playthrough, don't worry, I'm being careful not to save over that. I have 2 of those files actually. One's older than the other, but still you get the idea. So I'll be running some more tests, but so far areas like Whiterun, Riverwood, those actually run smoother now than they did before, which is really weird, but that's actually something I'm noticing more for every game I've been playing so far, is that I'm actually seeing smoother frame rates, so the frame latency is actually significantly lower, where it actually looks like it's smooth 60 frames a second when it's 60 or higher, or it's actually running at a better frame rate, which is also kind of neat. It also shows, yeah, that last graphics card I had just really fucked the system up because it was so faulty, it was just not working properly. Either way, I got that working, I'm going to be testing it some more, and the final thing are a couple driver crashes. Yeah, I saved that for the end of this video. It's not really a huge deal, and actually the reason it's not a huge deal, I'm going to explain really quick. It is simply because it is Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. Those are games I had before I started boycotting Ubisoft. I actually have through Assassin's Creed 1 up through Assassin's Creed 3, all the games in between. I'm pretty sure I have Assassin's Creed 2, Brotherhood, and Revelations from back when I was deciding, oh, I'm gonna do playthroughs of these games, and they released Watch Dogs, and there's that whole fiasco. I never got to play Watch Dogs, even though I got it on Steam. I just haven't installed it yet. I haven't tried it because it was buggy as fuck on release, and just people threw a fit and got pissed about it, and understandably pissed, actually. I'm not defending Ubisoft or anything. I'm saying they're fucking up and they're being stupid, and the people who were actually complaining about the problems were actually in the right. You know, so hence the reason why I stopped getting Ubisoft games. There's also Uplay. Uplay is a bitch. You gotta run it as admin in order to actually make it stop crashing all the goddamn time, which is retarded. Steam, though, you guys, I'm fucking serious. You need to deny third-party DRM and third-party EULAs. You need to stick to your own shit. You are DRM. It is completely unnecessary to have a second set of DRM compounding your own. Remove the publisher's abilities to place games on your service with another DRM, especially if it's something like Uplay. I have these games through Steam, yet I have to use Uplay in order to play them. It is retarded. Alright, so now, as for the driver crashes that I mentioned, the reason I'm pretty sure it's just the games is because it's Ubisoft. Ubisoft is fucking stupid. I'm serious, I'm gonna say that right now. They are fucking stupid. And the reason they're stupid is because they treat PC gamers like shit. The biggest example of this is with Assassin's Creed Unity and Watch Dogs. And out of these, what has it been, 3 weeks now since I swapped hardware? Or no, actually I guess it has been 2 weeks, huh? Because duh, Sean, I forgot I did that last. Actually, it has been over 2 weeks. I guess it has been 3 weeks now, because I got hardware swap video in last week's weekly vlog. Anyways, so it's been about 3 weeks since I swapped hardware, and those are the only 2 games that I've played so far that caused a driver crash. Everything else has been perfectly fine. Both of those games are Ubisoft games. And Assassin's Creed 2, I played through that entire game in situations where sometimes I was sitting down playing that game constantly for 5 or 6 hours. Yeah, I have nothing to waste my time with other than playing games on my computer, really. Because disabled, yeah, kind of fucking whatever. So, same thing with Assassin's Creed Brotherhood. I was playing through that for about 5 hours at a time. And the driver crashes wouldn't happen for those long periods of time. Sometimes, like on Assassin's Creed 2, it would be, oh, driver crash after an hour. It's just random as fuck. I mean, I'm playing through, I'm like 3/4 of the way through with this game, playing for 5 or 6 hours at a time, and now all of a sudden I get a damn driver crash after playing for an hour. Restart my computer, no driver crash for the other 4 or 5 hour playing that game. Then Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, first hour of the game, driver crash. Another 5, 6, or 7 hours of the game, no problems. Like, what the fuck, man? So I'm pretty damn sure it is the games themselves causing that driver crash, not my system this time. So no, videos are not going to be held off, they're going to be continuing. Playthroughs are going to be returning. I'm going to mention when I start getting stuff recorded again, so don't worry about that. It's going to be fine. It's not a huge deal. I'm just not going to be playing Ubisoft games, but I've already been boycotting them, so you shouldn't expect to see those anyways. I am, however, going to be finally renewing my WoW account next month, so it's not going to be too long, but yeah, finally going to be able to fucking play that, which is going to be kind of nice. Not some actual free trial demo type shit, but actually playing it. Is going to be kind of awesome. The only other problems I've actually seen, which I should mention even though they're not really problems, were in Half-Life Source, but they're actually known issues. I'll actually show pictures in the video here. The first one I'll actually show here is actually this weird issue. I got to the conveyor belt area, and all of a sudden this fucking weird-ass thing just popped up, and it was freaking the fuck out. I looked it up, and apparently, yeah, that's just caused by the flashlight. I don't remember if I ever turned the flashlight off in that area. The flashlight lasts pretty long in that game, so I don't think I ever turned it off in the conveyor belt areas, so I don't know. Maybe it's caused by it, and if you turn the flashlight off, it doesn't actually make it go away. Either way, that issue was present, and it pissed me off. The other one, I'll show a picture now, is that crap in the sky there. It's just the sky wasn't updated, and it's possibly because of the way they handle the sky. I've seen this, I think, in a game before. I don't remember. It's probably been a long time. I think I've seen it in something before, and I just can't really remember what it was I saw it in. Or I could be mixing it up with Solitaire's old, you beat the game thing, and the cards drop down and just kind of layer themselves and fill the entire fucking screen, which is kind of neat. But it could be that, just mixing in, because it's very similar. So what happened is some areas in the sky, mostly in the area where you're getting shot at by the snipers, and you have to shoot the damn snipers in the little hidey holes. You look at the sky, and you move around, and the buildings are over one part of the sky, and you move, and they're not anymore, so there's just kind of change your perspective of where you're looking at the building at and where you're looking at the sky. And what would happen is it would like make an image of that building and just kind of layer it over, just drag it and just keep this little image over the sky. But as soon as I look away from the sky, just enough, then the sky would clear up and it would just be normal. And it wouldn't do that until I would look back up in that area. So that's also a huge deal, and I think that's just the game itself. And the biggest problem with that is I think it's mostly just the game showing its age. Because even though, yeah, it's Half-Life Source, so it's the updated version of the original Half-Life, I do think, because even Half-Life Source is pretty damn old, it's probably just getting old. Unless that was present from the time it was released, in which case, Valve, what the fuck, why isn't this updated? And even now, what the fuck, why isn't this updated? I know you got Half-Life 2, and you have the episodes and stuff, but seriously? Come on, man, give us some fucking support and fix these issues. I died so many goddamn times from the snipers, and I had to reload my file at the conveyor belt area so many damn times because of that fucking problem. It was annoying as hell, and it's going to be annoying when I eventually do a playthrough of this game, so come on, man, fix it. So anyways, that is the end of this video, the end of the fucking 2 weeks. Gonna be kind of a long video, whatever. Last video was also kind of long. Either way, thank you guys very much for watching. Hopefully I covered pretty much everything. I got a lot of stuff written down on the notepad, so hopefully it's all there, all taken care of. And I will see you guys on the next video next week, unless some other weird shit happens that makes me skip a video, but I doubt that's going to happen. But I'll see you guys then, or on some other video. But until then, I'll see you guys later, and fuck, I messed up my outro again, sorry. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to let me know with a comment, like, subscribe, and or a share. Also, one other thing I forgot to mention, I know it's the end of this video, but I did get someone asking me to review a game. Guys, I do not review mobile games. I'm not against looking into reviewing some games, kind of just depends. I have to actually like the way the game looks and actually enjoy it in order to be kind of finishing that game. I have to actually kind of enjoy the game in order to finish it. I'm not going to go, oh, you're gonna play some Barbie game and review it. I'm not gonna do that shit. I have to actually look at the game and say, okay, this actually looks like it's gonna be something decent, and I'll try it. But if it's a mobile game, no. Mobile games, I will never review. I do not review mobile games. I do not care for mobile games. Mobile games, to me, are just crap. Especially if they have microtransactions or a shit ton of ads on them. Those are just evil in gaming area for me. They should not exist. The controls of fucking touchscreens on mobile games, I mean, I've played one game that was actually decent. It was Xenonia. I got it for free on Apple App Store, stuff on my iPod. But, I mean, come on. That was alright. I never finished it. I didn't really care much for it. Still a mobile game. It's still on my goddamn iPod. I actually removed it from my iPod, but you know what I mean. It was on my iPod, so I had to actually look down, goddamn hand, and fucking touch a damn screen, and it's this tiny screen. Yeah, you could get an expensive Bluetooth controller, but fuck that. I mean, it's not worth it to me. I do not care for mobile games. So I'm never reviewing mobile games. This is only the second time someone has actually asked me to review a mobile game. And if you guys are actually watching this stuff instead of just saying, oh, we saw your channel and thought it was awesome. Even though we totally didn't watch a goddamn thing on your channel, we totally don't realize that your definition of casual gamer is completely different than the mainstream definition of casual gamer, even though that mainstream definition of casual gamer is complete bullshit. We're gonna send it to you because this is a casual game in our mainstream definition. So anyways, now it's truly the end of the video. Sorry for ranting there. I just had to mention that because I forgot. I didn't even write it down on the notepad, but it just popped into my mind. I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to mention something about it. So I'll see you guys next week or on some other videos. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys then. Holy shit, this is a rushed ending, but goddamn it. Yeah, it's actually kind of a long ending. Whatever, you get the idea. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching. Bye.